In today's sessions, I'm going to introduce you two tools, the Echo Poll and Padlet. And after that, I will mention about the support available for UQ staff, including all of you today. So by way of introducing the tool, I would like you to use the tool as the participant in my session. So as you can see that I have included a join slide in my PowerPoint presentation. And when I start the PowerPoint mode, the tool in my device understand that I might want to use the tool. So I have already activated the session, and I can tell my student to scan the QR code so that they can join the session. So if you have your mobile phone with you, could you please scan the QR code and join the tool with me? And there are two ways of joining the session. The first way is to scan the QR code, and the other is use your desktop and type echopoll.au. And the codes that I use for today's session is cool tutors. And as the instructor, I can click on the users and I can see, okay, how many students have been here. Yeah, that's good. And the way that I set the session today up is anonymous. So all of you are registered as guests. And I think that's important when you tell the student that we join the session anonymously. So it will increase student confidence when they join the session. All right, so if you see the message waiting for presenter, that means you are in. And now if I press enter, I will start with my slide. So in your teaching, you can be teaching first without the question. But in my session today, I have the first question for you, which is a word cloud. What is collaborative learning? Or what is its benefit? Can you provide your answers in 3 to 5 words? Yeah. Sorry that the question have the countdown clock, so it doesn't give a lot of time for you to answer the question. So in that case, I can repoll the question. So let me repoll the question again so that you can type in your answers. And sorry for the first answers that have been wiped out. Yep. So collaborative learning can be the collaborations of the learning together between the teacher and the student, or between the student together. So the benefit can be, it's more likely to remember the material, increase the engagement and teamwork. Learning is interactive and responsive. Students work together and they can share different views together. And in that way, they will increase their learning and retention. Thank you for that. So here are some of the definitions about collaborative learning. So it's a joint intellectual effort, and it's central on the student exploration and applications of the course material. And you might have already known that student knowledge is personal, and it formed through discussion and social interaction. So in our teaching, if we provide more opportunity for the student to work together and exchange their knowledge, they will be understanding the material better, and the retention rate will be higher through this activity. And recently, with the development of technology in education, learning now is also seen as a network phenomenon influenced by the development of technology and socialization. And if we can provide more opportunities for collaborative learning, we can foster a higher level of thinking, oral communication, self-management, and leadership in our students. So at UQ, we have a few collaborative tools. So my next question is a multiple select, where you can select more than one answers. And what are the tools that you are familiar with? And you can see that this one is the setting of this question is live, so the student can see the changes of the responses live on the screen. So yeah, it seems that all of you are familiar with Microsoft Teams, and then some about Padlet and Microsoft Forms. Yep. Okay, and in today's session, I will focus on Padlet and Echo Poll. And the reason is that the other tool requires the activation by the course coordinator. However, Padlet and Echo Poll are the tool that you can use in any of your sessions. Yep. Thank you for your answers in this. And some empirical research related to the mobile polling research. So in the traditional teaching, usually the teacher do the talking or the teaching, and then they might check if the student understand what have been presented for them. But usually the student won't find it anxious if they have to ask the question in the class. So the teacher would not know whether the student actually understand what they have been learning in the class. So if you can use some mobile polling technologies such as the Echo Poll that I am using now, you can ask different questions for the student to check their understanding. Some simple true or false or multiple choice question can be a good start, and the question doesn't have to be super difficult, but it can motivate the student to check their understanding and might be pause the lecture, and then student can get together and discuss their answer together. So as you can see on the slide here, it helped the timid student to have the opportunity to contribute to the class activity, and students find it more relaxing when they can use the technology to provide their answers, because they do not worry that they might have their answers incorrect. And in case they have the incorrect answers, if you can use the tool and create that as a pre and post quizzes, then the student have the opportunity to check their understanding and might be review the concept that they do not understand in the class. And if you throw in a few questions during the lecture, it breaks the lecture into chunks and it helps the student refocus. For example, in a long lecture, it can be a good tool to break the lecture into chunks. And this one is another sample question in the Echo Poll, and this one is a hotspot question, where in your device you will see a picture and you can enlarge the picture to see it more clearly in your device. And the question is that it's just a fun one. How would you see yourself in my class? Yeah, so you might be sleeping, it's midday, you might be tired, or you are thinking of your lunch already. So this is an example of how you can use a hotspot question in your class. And at the same time, I can see that I have 8 responses here. Can you see that in my screen? So I know whether I should stop the question by clicking on the screen, or I can wait for more students to answer. So these are the hotspot questions where I can enter the correct answers in an hotspot. It doesn't mean that I expect all of you to be very active in here, but it is just an example of a hotspot question where you can show the correct answers. And before I move into introduce about the tool, I show you another function here. You can think of a question during your teaching, and you can enter that question in the middle of the sessions here. For example, I know that I have a question that I used recently. For example, is my presentation cool? Sorry, I'm very self-centralized. So this one is the one that I have already created before. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. And then if I want to create another question, I can click on the screen to stop my session, and the status of the question is closed. In that case, I can create another question. And now I want to create a new question here, and my question is a multiple choice. Have you downloaded the Echo Poll app? It's all good if you have or have not, because I have the guide and the video guide. I insert that, and then it becomes the questions here where you can look at your device, and then please let me know, maybe you need to refresh your device because it was still in the previous question. So that's the message you need to tell the student as well. You might need to devise, yep, it seems that you haven't downloaded the app yet. No worries. So you can see that in this case, I know that you haven't downloaded the app, then I can alter my teaching by, okay, showing the directions, the instruction of how to use the app. Another click, then my question is closed. And now I can use my team function. For example, I can show participant leaders. In this case, I didn't require you to provide a name, but if you intend to use the participant leaders function here, you might require the student to provide their pseudonym. It doesn't have to be their real name. It can be a pseudonym. And then it will have, for example, this one is Jasmine and Peter and so on. So a bit of fun in the class if you can use the participant leadership functionality here. All right, so now let me introduce briefly about the tool. EchoPoll is a live polling tool and it has a variety of question type as I have shown you today. Currently, the short answers doesn't work very well. I realize that when we do the word cloud, some of you provide more extended answers, but the whole answers currently are not displayed properly on the screen, but the vendor is aware of that and they are working on fixing that kind of longer answers. And it has the team features, as I have shown you that. I can show who is the leader in that answers, and I can put student onto teams as well. So the teams will be animals named like kangaroo or platypus, and then it's just a bit of fun. And you can use that within the class time or outside the class time. So within the class time, you can use in the PowerPoint presentation like this. Outside of class time, you can create that in the web environment and send student a link where the student can access the quiz and answer those. So 4 uses, the first one is the PowerPoint add-ins as the one that I am using in this presentation. The other is the floating toolbar. That means that you didn't have the intention to use the question at all, and you didn't use PowerPoint in your class. You are teaching using another app for your course, or you are using an Excel like in accounting class, then you can use poll on the fly. You can enable the app, select the floating toolbar, and then you can verbally ask student the question. And then the student will still be able to scan the QR code, and what is on the screen will be captured on their mobile phone. And the third use is the web environment. And if you use the web environment, there's AI assisted poll. That means that you can copy and paste the content that you are teaching, and the AI assisted functionality will help you to create a range of questions to check student knowledge and understanding. And the asynchronous polls, the one that I have mentioned, that you can create a poll deck, send student as a link, and the student can do that outside of class time. But the one that we are talking today is the app. And just sharing with you some of the UQ teacher feedback. So this is a teacher from biomedical science, and she has been using EchoPoll in this semester. And she thinks that it definitely promotes student engagement in her class. She herself really enjoyed the tool and the student enjoyed it. And she feels that she can tailor what she say to the student and the question that she asks the student so that she can check their understanding. And also in the CCAT, the student seems to be really interested in using the tool because the platform always works and it's really useful to consolidate the knowledge they gain in the lecture. So you can see that testing the knowledge, revision, consolidation is some of the common theme from the students' feedback. Also here, this is the area where the student might need to focus more if they didn't understand that, so they know where is the area that they need to review more. All right, so this is the guide for the tool, and now I am going to show you how you can download the tool in your device. I am going to send you a link. Yeah. So when you click on this link, let me open that in a new Cognito window to show you how it looks like. So first, you need to click on the link here. And then it will require you to enter your UQ email address. So click on sign in after enter your UQ email address. And you will need to go through the authentication process. If I'm doing this too quickly, please let me know. If any point that you don't understand, yeah, let me know. Okay. I will pause here a little bit to see if everyone go to the Echo 360 page with the Echo poll. You will see your name and your role will be the instructor, not the administrator. Yep, so I'm checking if we all here. All right, so if you can give me a thumbs up if you are now in the same page as me. Yep, thanks, Mung. Thanks, Tanya. Meron. If any step that you are stuck or not get into this stage yet, let me know. Casey, are you good? Oh, good. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having trouble authenticating.
Okay. No
I'll
worries.
take 2 seconds. Sorry.
No worries. All good. All good. Yeah. Thank you, Yuna. Yeah. So just to show that we need to yeah, sure.
Sorry, may you please show me how to get into the page again? Sorry, I was trying to.
Of course.
I have to open mine in private window to get it to work. So I don't think it's going to work.
No. You can use your own window because you need to download the app to your device because I have already downloaded mine. So I open a private window. So Katie, you can click on the link that I sent in the chat to download, to start doing the download from there.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, yeah. So yeah, thanks Nawa, when we use the new technology, we also need to provide students the time so that they can get into the system and everything. I have just seen Hian to join the session. Hian, so we are trying to download the app to start using the tool called Echo Poll. So Hian, if you wanted to download the tool, you can click on the link in the chat. And then once everybody can see the link, the page on my screen, then I will be continuing. You need to click on the link and then sign in with your UQ email and then go through the authentication. Yep, so I will speed up a little bit. So here you can see your initial on the top right with your initial. Click onto that and then click on account settings. Don't do that yet. Go back to the previous page. Sorry, you need to click on open underneath Echo Poll so that you can go to the dashboard. Sorry about that. So when you are in the page with the word Echo Poll here, click on open. Yeah, awesome, Meng Chang. Click on the word open. And then you will see the dashboard. Once you see your dashboard, then you go to your initial on the top right. And then click on account settings in there. Okay, so you are in EchoPole, but you can't find, don't need to find Echo 360. What you need to find is the button open. So you can see EchoPole here, right, Casey? You click on open. And then when you are in the dashboard, then you click on your initial users on the top right and click on account setting. And if you are in your account setting already, you can go to download and then click on download PC or download Mac. Oh, good. Yeah. Click on download PC or download Mac. And once you click on download, then you can save that in your document, because this app, you will need to keep it rather than delete it. So save it in your document folder or any folder that you would not delete it. So for me, it's the PC. So I'm clicking on PC. And because I have already saved that in documents, so now I'm going to save that in download. And then you can open the program that you have just downloaded. Okay. And for this one, I will need to close most of my screen so that I can see what is shown on my laptop. Okay, so I will bring it here so that you can see it. It doesn't move, it stay on my other screen. So maybe I will stop sharing and I will share the screen that show what's happening on my other screen. Okay, so now you see this screen. Yeah, so in my original download, I save it in document. So if you can, please save in your document. For me today, I save in download because I have already had the app in document. So I click on download and then click on OK. So I will check out my download. So I have the program here and I have the folder. Now, when you see that, you should click on the folder. And then the app is within the folder. So at that point, you can click to open the app. Yeah, so this is my app, open up here. And because I have already signed in earlier today, so my name is displayed here. If you have not signed in yet, you will need to click on the button here to sign in. So I will give you a couple of minutes to sign in. You will need to go through the authentication process again. Only in case that you cannot download the app today, we have a guide with the video guide there. Let me share with you the video. The guide, so in this guide, we have both the video and the instruction with images. So you can follow that video and then all the instructions in there to download the app. And the good thing is that you only need to download once. And then next time when you use the PowerPoint, the add-in will be ready in your PowerPoint to be able to use that within your class or any teaching that you have. Okay, so when you finish downloading, you can click on Start Now, and it will start a new PowerPoint presentation for you. Okay, so you can click on Start Now here to start a new presentation. And for this one, before you do your presentation, there are a few settings that I wanted you to do. So it's called the global setting. So it's important that we set the setting first before we create the question. So if you are in your app here, you can click on your name in order to go to your profile account. Yep. And also good news, we only need to set up the setting once. Yeah, all good. Let's click on the preferences here. So for those who have already on the preferences here, I show you a few settings that is very useful. First, the join mode should be guest public. The other option will require your student to sign in, but we want the easiest way for them to sign, like you signed today, right? You scan the QR code and you are in the poll. That's the first thing, guest public. And the second one is first name, last name, email. Let's keep it hidden. So it doesn't require the student to provide their name at all. So it will increase student confidence to join without being judged if they provide incorrect answer. And those settings can be changed for each of the session. For example, toward the end of the semester, you really want to check the student understanding and you want to know who is who. Then you can require students to provide names and you can change that setting for every session. The reserved join codes is not important because from our statistic, 100% of students join by the QR code. They do not join by desktop. But the reserved join codes here means that each of you can reserve 10 unique join code. So no one can use that code as yours. So for example, today, if any day I want myself to be central, so I say, home is awesome. So I can add that one and then I can use that join code in the session. But again, no one would be using the join code. People tend to use the QR code. So that is a preference setting that you need to do. And now we can get back to your PowerPoint. At this point, you can open a new PowerPoint presentation. So let me open a new PowerPoint presentation. And when you open the new PowerPoint presentation, you can see that there's an Echo Poll app already been added in your PowerPoint presentation. And for that one, you can put in a few slides. So the first one is the title slide, as usual, when you are teaching. The second slide can be a content slide, because usually you would be teaching a few things before it comes to the poll, right? Or you can use the poll right at the beginning of the class. It depends on the structure of your class. And when it comes to the question, then you would select Add New within the Echo Poll tool. So under the Add News here, the first slide that you need is a join slide. So currently this join slide doesn't have any information. It's only the slide holder. So you can see that there's a question option. So this is the setting of the question. You can uncheck the clicker channel because we do not have the clickers in that. And then actually there are more setting that you need to set within PowerPoint. And if you set it now in the next PowerPoint, it will apply to your next PowerPoint. So within your PowerPoint, their preference is the wheel icon. So if you can click on the wheel icon, and for the display setting, please select polling slides only. So that means that when the students scan the QR code, they will see the polling question only on their mobile. They do not see on the slide of the presentation. And in that way, the presentation will not be very heavy, and the student do not lose the focus by looking at the lecture content on their phone. So polling slides only is recommended. Display chat on the slide. So it's like the student's response. Do you want to show it live or you want to show it after? So for myself, it is the presentation. So I always like to show the result live on the screen. But maybe in your teaching, you want to show that after because you do not want the student to be influenced by each other's answers. So maybe for you, it's after. Display chat on participant devices, that means display the answer of the whole class. So for myself, I choose when polling closes. Then the student can see what are the students' answers in their phone. Display chat value as count. That means how many students select A, how many students select B, or you can select percentage. But I think count is quite easy to interpret. Default chat label, bullet. I will show you what does it mean by bullet. And vertical is good. And then display show bar on slides. So that is the control bar that I can see the status of the questions and how many responses I receive. So it's good to keep it. And the countdown timer, I change that to 45 seconds, but I only enable that in the question that I want. So now I would save the setting. Yes, yeah. So, Meng, are you using a Mac? Because for the Mac, it's the floating bar at the top. Yeah, that's the reason why. So it's a little bit different, and I feel that it's a bit more difficult. But maybe Mac user find it all right. Yeah, thank you, Casey and Meng, for that observation. Yeah. So now if you are in here, you finish all the setting, let's practice adding a multiple choice question. So simply select multiple choice and then you treat the slide as the normal slide where you can design the slide. So this one is, yeah, when is our tutorial? So my question is what day in the week? So I say Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And you can go up to more than 4 Friday. So let me add Saturday. Of course, no one have Saturday or Sunday, but for the purpose of showing, I have all the days here. And you will have the options. All right. So when you have all the options for the question, so click on the option to show. If you want it to be anonymous, you can select that, but we have already let the student to sign in as a guest, so we do not have to enable that one. And this one, yes, you need the correct answers, and the correct answer here is Tuesday, for example. So you select that. And the chat label as bullet, so you can see that the answers are A, B, C, D, E, F. But if it is a short one, then I change that one to answers. So the student can see very clearly on their mobile phone the different days. And then I can change the question area bigger or smaller, or I can move them around here. The chat I can move. So you treat the slide as a normal slide, but then you enter sorry, this one is not a good one. What did I do with this? All right. Yeah, all good now. Okay. And in case I want to show the countdown timer or the clock, then I need to check the two boxes, show countdown timer and auto start, and I can increase the clock in here. Yeah. It works better with Windows PC though. No, yeah, it's fine with Mac because I have seen people with Mac using this without any issue. No problem with that. But yeah, you can try on the device, but the user experience show that Mac is all good. And when you create the question here, just remember to retain the ABCD so that it show better on the student's device. All good, yeah. And if I have other content slide, I can create other content slide for my teaching. Continue teaching here. And then after this, I have another question. Then I go to Echo Poll and add another questions here. So if I want a hotspot, for example, it will ask me to select an image, which I have already prepared. And then, yeah, please, which animal UQ leg does not have. And then I can add the hotspot, and then, yeah, we don't have the koala here, but the other animal we have. So, yeah, indicate the correct. And then I can select this one. I don't want during polling. I change that one to after polling so that the student do not see each other's answers. And yeah, I can continue teaching or I can continue to have others question. So now if it is the time for you to try out your slides, there are two things that I need you to consider. First, check whether you are having the word sign out. That means you are in the system, and this is a good sign. And the other one is that you should see the word start here. That means all the previous session have been ended, and now you will start the new polling session. So let me show you how it looks. So this is my title slide. If I change to the presentation mode, it will understand that I wanted to start my polling session. So I'm quickly check if my student sign in as a guest, if all their names are hidden, and also what password I want them to use. So as I said, I want me to be central. So Hong is awesome. Sorry, student. And then I click start. I simply close the message here. And on my other screen, I have a control bar here. So I keep it here so that I know who have been in my session and what response they have. And then I teaching, hi student, this is what we do today. And then I continue teaching. And after that, I say, so now I'm going to ask you a few questions. And then I ask my student to scan the QR code. And then when the students see the message that waiting for the presenter, that means they are in my session. And then I can click on the slide and the student will be able to see the question option on their device. And I can see the status here, it is open. And I can see that, yep, I have 2 responses. And if I want to override my clock, I click and the clock will be stopped and the answers will be shown. And another click. Yeah, sorry, student, our tutorial is on Tuesday, not on Friday, something like that. And then I move on, teaching, and I have another question. Which animal that EQ doesn't have, EQ leg doesn't have? And the student can see the pictures or the image on their mobile. They click, and then another click, it will show the correct answer. So yeah, we don't have the koala, but we have other animals in the lake. And yeah, so that is how we can use the tool. So yeah, I know that it's not enough time for you to practice with the tool today, but as I said that we have the guide and the video within that guide, so you can easily use that. And if you need some more support, you can book a session with us where we work with you on one-on-one so that you can know the tool better. And remember, at the end of the session, you should end this one. If you forget to end the session, it's still all right, because if you close the PowerPoint, then it will end the session for you. However, sometime before the tutorial, you test your poll and then forgot to end the session, then it will mess up a little bit between your trying and your real teaching. Sorry, Katie. You can book a session with us so that we can work with you on your device. Yeah. So this tool setting up is not difficult, but then it involves a few steps that you need to do. So, and also, yeah, we have the guide. I can send you the guide where you can watch that in your own time. The video and the guides there. So we have another tool that I'd like to show you today. I know that we don't have much time for that, but let me show you. That is Padlet. So have you known about Padlet before? Have you used that tool in your teaching? So Padlet, it is like a digital board where you can get the student into the board and contribute their discussion. So think of a class where you sometimes get the student to work in groups and they work on a big paper, and then after that students stick the paper around the classroom. So Padlet is like a digital board for that purpose. And to get you more context, I will show you some example. So Padlet have different format. So this one is called a Word format, and this is a very good at the beginning of the semester where you get your student group to introduce themselves. So the Word format create the post without any gap, so it look like a very close-knit community, and the student can see each other in that introduction board, and they write something about themselves, so it's very nice. The second is the map format. It's a good ice-breaking activity where you can create the map, send it to the student, and the student can indicate where they come from or any tourist destination in their country that they would like to introduce. The shell format is very good for group work. For example, in this activity, the student in a communication and art course have to talk about a movie that they like, and you can see that you can change the background image, and the student will make a post which is their answers in here. And this one is the group activity for tutorial groups. Again, it's a shell format, but you can create the instruction in one shell, and then you can duplicate or copy this one to different tutorial groups. And this one is the Canvas format. In the Canvas format, you can create one post in the central and get the student to contribute to the conversation, and then they can move the post around here to different category. And this one is also a Canvas format where I get the student to work into group, and each of the group work on part of the reading, and then they will break down the argument that they was working on onto the main argument, and then what are the supporting details so that they can understand the structure of the reading. So this one is a very beginning class. And this one is a timeline format where the student have to put their post into a timeline format. For example, this one is the individual reflection. Yeah. So now I will get you to sign in Padlet and probably practice creating one Padlet. So for that one, I will grab you the link here. I will also get into Padlet here so that you can see what are the steps. If you use Padlet before, maybe you have your account, but I will show you in case you haven't got your UQ account. So first, please click on the link that I sent to you in the chat. And after that, please select Continue with Microsoft. If you use your personal email or even UQ email in the other sign-in option, it will understand that you want to use a personal account, which doesn't give you many Padlets. It have a limited Padlet number. So for this one, I will sign in with my UQ email address. Very easy, two-step, right? Now you are already in your Padlet. And before we do others activity in Padlet, I'd like you to click on your account and we turn off the notification. So let me find out where's my account. Okay, so if you click on your profile, then there's a setting button. It is on the top right, your account, and then click on the settings. And in the setting, I'd like you to click on the notifications. And generally, you can uncheck all of the notifications here. So I uncheck all of my notification. I only maintain the invitation to collaborate, but actually no one would invite me to collaborate on a Padlet because usually you create your own Padlet for your class. But sometimes when you co-teaching in a class, maybe you would invite others to collaborate. So I only remain that box. And for other, I just uncheck. I do not want to receive a lot of notification email. So yeah, that's it. And now you can click on the arrows here to come back to your dashboard. And you can start making your first Padlet by clicking on the Make button here. So select Make and then click on Blank Board. And then you go, this is your Padlet. And in the title, I would enter my course code. For example, my course code is e-learning 2024. And in these activities, I want the student to do the course community introduction. So I will name it course community. And the format, as I have mentioned, Word format is best for introduction. And it is, I think, a very good activity in week 1 or week 0. So after this session, you can create this and then you can send to your tutorial group. Would be very nice. So yeah, here is the board. And then usually I often create my first post. So hi everyone. And then I would upload my photo or my link. So this one, let's see, I think I have a lot of photo here. So yeah, this one looks nice. I'm selecting that one. And then I will write something like, welcome to e-learning 2024. My name is Hong. I will be your tutors this semester. I hope that we will have a good time. So see you. Yeah, nice. Yeah, meet everyone here, for example. And then I'm looking forward to meeting you. So usually I often create my own post so that when the student come into my Padlet, they will be seeing someone. They're just not going to a blank Padlet. So I give you some time if you need to practice that. And then I always find the call button here for the setting. So if I click on that call button, I can add the description. So the description is like a brief instruction you provide for the student. For example, please post a brief introduction about yourself and a photo. And also, I like to select an icon, and I like an animal icon for that introduction. And I think that the owl is good. Yeah, it's a symbol of wisdom. So I like that. The wallpaper, I think that purple is nice. Otherwise, you can choose other wallpaper. Or if you have your own, you can choose your own as well. And then I can have the reaction turning on. And the URL here, I can have custom made, e-learning 2024. And then remember, you have to use the underscore introduction. Save. In that way, I will have a very nice link to share for the student, but you don't have to. You can copy the link on the browser to share with the student. Copy this link and share with the student. It's the same link. However, the link that I customized, it will have my name and then my course code and the name of the activity. So that is how I can create my Padlet. So I know that the second part is a bit quick. Do you have any question, or are you able to have your own account and create the Padlet? Yeah, thank you, Nawa. If you have your Padlet, you can share your link in the chat so that we can join your Padlet. To public and also anonymous. Okay, yeah, good question. So in the setting here, when you click on share, you can copy the link and share with everyone. And the link privacy is secret. So that is the default. That means no one can search for your Padlet. That is the first thing. The second thing, everyone who received your link can join the Padlet. That means your student can join your Padlet easily. And the third one here is that because we didn't look, let me show you this one. Author and timestamp. By default, it is hide or hidden. That means the student do not have to provide their name, and it doesn't show what time that they make their post. So it is anonymous post for them, for the student. How to create that first post? Sure, yes, yeah. So we find the plus button here to create the first post. So for example, I have your name, Marianne. Yeah, hi from Marianne. So Marianne, sorry of my typing. And then you can search for an image, or if you have your own image, you can upload your own image here. So if I have my own image, I have it a lot in my download. I know that. So I'm going to use one of the photo here. And then questions, for example, then I can select publish. Yeah, so then the link again. So what do you mean by the link, Kadi? The link source. Yeah, now I understand. So if you want to have a nice link, find the cop button here. The cop is for the setting. Most of the tool, when you want to find down the setting, it's the cop button. You're scrolling down and then you can see the URL here. So I can change the URL here. For example, I take them all away, and then it is another activity. So I might have my course code, e-learning. This is another course, 1001, and then the activities name underscore. Remember the underscore is course community. So I can write course and then another underscore community, and then I save that. And then I copy this link and then I send to the student. If you want to have a very nice link, you can do that. Otherwise, you can copy the link on the chat here and then send them through the student. Anya, you have a question?
I just posted, I think Beatrice has tried to contact me directly. I'm not sure if she's reposting to everyone. She was asking you to show how Canvas works.
How?
Canvas?
Sorry, how can?
Canvas.
Canvas.
Yes.
Canvas, what do you mean by Canvas? Yes, yeah, how Canvas work. All right, yeah. Thank you. The
No worries.
Canvas format. The Canvas format, okay. Very good question. Let me come here. You make a Padlet, right? And then you choose the Padlet. And when you choose the Padlet, you choose the Canvas format here. Select the Canvas. Done. First thing, very easy, right? And you want to have a name, want to have, go to the setting. And then you can change the name here. So, for example, this one, again, I always like to have my course code. So this one, I just make up a course code. And this one, if it is a week 2 activity, I will say this is week 2. And this one, if it is a group discussion, or if in week 2, we talk about the school context. For example, I am teaching in a school of education, and in week 2, we need to discuss the school context. And I'm going to give my brief instructions here. What I want the student to do. Instruction. And then my icon, I always like the icon. So, and the icon doesn't have to have a very strong meaning or anything. You can select anything you want, or you don't select anything. This wallpaper is very boring. So I'm going to change to another one. For example, this one. Sometimes they create a very nice wallpaper for us. Sometimes it's not. Okay, and this one, if I want my custom URL, so I will have e-learning and 2037, and this one. This one is the discussion on school context. Yeah, so that I save that one, and then I can share that one to the student. Copy, and then I share this to the student. However, one thing that I'd like to draw your attention when you use the Canvas, because you want the student to be able to move their post around, then this is what you should do. Go to the share here. Go to the share, and then visitor permission. Visitor here is your student, and what they have, the right that they have is that currently they can post, but we want them to have the moderator. So moderator means that they can create the post and then they can move the post around. I am the owner of my own Canvas. Then I can move the post around. But your student, you need to change their permission. So in order to change their permission, you go to the share. And then you find visitor permission. Select that and then change from writer to moderator. So currently, by default, everyone has the writer permission. That means they can create the post. But if you want them to be able to move the post around, then they need the moderator. Mengcha, you cannot make yourself anonymous, because you can see that it's always have yourself as the creator. And also it have your name here. In case you change your name into anonymous, and then you do not post your avatar, then the student would not know that it is yours. But I think you cannot do that because your account is associated with UQ account. So always it will show your name.